Okay, so I know I haven't filmed a video in a long time. It's probably been about 2 weeks now. I haven't filmed really much anything, and I posted on my Instagram story actually like a weekend ago, last weekend. You know, a lot of you guys saw it that I actually got the 240SX driving. And that is such a big accomplishment because it's been sitting here for 3 years. I've been working on it for so long and had so many people help me work on it. And I just want to give a big thanks to everybody who's worked on it and everybody who's put their time and their hard work and some of you that put even your money into it. And it means a lot. It really, really does. And just getting it this far has really taught me a lot of things, and being able to build a car by myself, or not necessarily by myself, but being able to build the car on my own, not having a shop do it, and actually learning things about it, it really helped me a lot, not only with automotive knowledge, but also about being disciplined and, you know, kind of like working through big problems. Because when you don't have like a project like this in your life, it's kind of hard because you really can't get that discipline. You really can't get, all right, well, if I'm gonna actually sit down and build a car like this, you know, you have to plan it out. You have to know what you're gonna do. Some of it is kind of just, you know, you're winging it, and you're just kind of doing what you think is gonna be the best thing to do, but sometimes it's not. And I've had a lot of that with this car, definitely. But for the most part, it's taught me a lot of things, and I just couldn't be any more happier, you know, just because look at it. I mean, like, it's awesome. It really, really is. It blows my mind that I actually got it driving, and it's weird to say that because it's been sitting here. It's been sitting here for 3 years, and to actually see it moving and moving under its own power is phenomenal, and not something that I would have actually guessed to happen so soon. But here we are, and it just it's awesome, guys. So I do want to talk a little bit about some things that we did do and some things that I didn't make a video on. I tried to, but you know, there were some complications and some time. Oh, sorry for the shaky camera, but there were some complications and like some time constraints. But I just want to kind of get into a little bit of that, of what kind of things I did in order to get it done, be able to actually drive. So, cut to that right now. So here's the car, and so here's what I did, or here's what we did to actually get the car running, and not necessarily running, but actually driving, and actually be like where I was comfortable to actually let it move and just ultimately kind of complete the process. So I made a video about the intake, and that's this right here, and about doing all that. I already made a video about that, so we don't need to kind of get into that. But just a more updated thing, we did make a bracket right here, so it's not touching. It's actually really, really solid. It doesn't touch the metal, and I really like that because I see a lot of times, like at car shows, where people will have like just their standard intakes, or just have a cold air intake, and it'll just be flopped over, and it just looks ridiculous. It's just the little things to me that kind of really make it all come together, because if you just have your intake flopped on the, you know, just on your car, it just kind of looks crappy to me. I mean, not maybe to many other people, but to me it definitely makes a huge difference on how the car actually looks. So we also got this thing called it's a wiring harness for the fans that work directly with these Mishimoto 12-inchers. Here it is. So this is a Chase Bays wiring harness. It is pretty much a plug and play. All you have to do is, it's simple. All you have to do is make a ground. So we grounded it right here where the battery kind of goes to too. And then you can kind of see it's really difficult that the wiring right here that comes from under it goes all the way down, past there, you can kind of see them right there, that yellow, that's part of the harness. That's just indicating what that is and where it goes. And then it comes all the way across here and plugs into these, or it plugs in, it has its own connectors, and it plugs in straight to the fans like that. And what it does is, there's a thermostatic switch. Let's see if I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Maybe not. Here, let's try to focus. Right there. It's really hard to see. You guys can't see it, but there's a switch. And that switch pretty much just screws into the radiator, and it reads the temperature from like the tip of it. And depending on the temperature of the actual coolant that's going through the radiator, it turns on the fans. So the good thing about that is, one, you don't have to have an auxiliary switch to pretty much control the fans. It's all controlled by itself, which is really nice because when you're driving, you don't want to have to worry about if your fans are on or not, or let's say if you forget. But it's just easier. It's just simpler to do. Well, I wouldn't say easier. I would say it's just, or simple. No, I'm not gonna say it. It's just more. It's more of a. It's. I don't know what I would say. It's more of just like it's easier on the mind, I guess. You don't forget about it. It's automatically just gonna turn on. But the problem is, it's not as good. I don't know, because a lot of people tell me that if I'm gonna do fans, especially on a car like this, it's just probably better to do automatic or an auxiliary switch where you just turn it on by yourself. That way the fans are on constantly, just in case something goes wrong, which makes sense. But we kind of didn't want to deal with that. We wanted to have our own system, our own wiring harness, which isn't a bad idea to me. I really like it. It's really clean. It's really simple. It's not very expensive. Around maybe to 90. I think it was like 90 to $100. It wasn't that bad, and it works straight with Chase Bays, which is all what I have. I don't have anything else. Just straight Chase Bays stuff. And so we got that done. So that's pretty much all squared away. We got the actual throttle done here too. This we had to modify it. I mean, a lot of people already know that you have to modify the throttle, but we have to do that. The problem the car is having right now, though, it's not idling like I want it to. A lot of you probably have already seen the video. Oh, actually, no, you didn't see that video. There's a video that maybe I'll add into this clip, maybe I won't. But it's pretty much, you can definitely tell the car's struggling to idle, which I kind of expected. But especially since we plugged in the MAF, and I don't have the wiring harness that I bought. It doesn't plug into, or it doesn't plug into the fuel pump, or it does, but it doesn't make the fuel pump turn on. So we had to do an auxiliary fuel pump switch, which isn't the best because like the fans, you can forget if the switch is on, and if you're leaving the fuel pump on, then it's just dumping fuel, or it's just pushing fuel to the injectors, and it's just, there's a lot of fuel in the system now, But so for you that don't know, this I believe is the TPS, the TPMS, or not TPMS, excuse me, the TPS sensor for the RB20. I could be wrong. If any of you know, if any of you don't know, that's all right. If you do know, let me know. I could be wrong. But I'm gonna have to fumble with that a little bit and see if I can get it to work actually really good and actually let the car idle, because right now the car doesn't want to idle off, so we need to get it minty. We also got power steering all hooked up. Here's power steering reservoir. Don't mind my Summit sticker, but pretty much got a brand new fresh that's a power steering high pressure line. I got all new rubber hoses. It's got a brand new rack and pinion in it. It has brand new. I actually had some trouble finding this. I had to do some scavenging. I don't think this is the right belt though, because it doesn't seem tight enough, or maybe I need to figure out a way to get this belt tighter. I just don't think it's that tight. But other than that, everything went pretty much flawlessly, and the car is finally on the ground. It's not on jack stands anymore. It's finally on the ground, and that's really cool to see. It's really rewarding for me to see it like this, because one, the car hasn't been facing this way, it's facing in towards the garage, like as if it was like an actual car and not just some junk project. So it's cool to see it like this, because it actually is motivating, believe it or not. And seeing it like this also is really rewarding, because it was really cool. We put so much time and effort into this car trying to get it actually driving, and there was so much stress and so much worry that it wouldn't do it, it wouldn't move under its own power, and it did. It went around the block twice, which was really cool. And it's just motivating, because now I know I can keep moving towards this next step rather than working backwards. Because if it didn't do it, if I put all this time and it didn't turn the wheel or move the rear wheels, then we'd have to pull transmission, pull everything. So it got that all squared away. So what's next? So what's next is, like I said, we're gonna get the throttle position sensor, I think, squared away. I'm gonna see if I can get the idle set right. That's kind of the goal. The next thing I really, really want to do is I want to figure out the fuel pump thing, because I don't like it running off its own switch, because I don't feel like it's the proper amount of fuel. It's just kind of giving it all at one time, which I don't really like that. I want it to be read, like read by the computer, make sure it's getting the right amount of fuel at the right amount of time, and according to the math, because it needs to read the airflow, it needs to read the air to fuel ratio, it needs to know what's going on, because if it's too much fuel, then you're going to be running way too rich. If it's not, then it's going to run too much, it's going to run too lean. That will cause detonation, and that's what we don't want. So I'm going to try to figure out the fuel thing, and then hopefully that can get squared away. I definitely need probably a standalone for this 240 or for this RB, because it does have just the regular OEM ECU, which is okay. I'm sure they're fine. It got the car running, that's for sure. But I think what I want to do is have a standalone, just for the sole reason of it's going to be a lot easier to use. It's not going to have as much, just as much, not firewall, but just barrier to play with, because when you have a standalone, especially the Haltech ones, I know you can just go crazy with all different parameters, all different things that you want to do with the car, all different things you want to do, how you want to tune it, which is what I really want. So that's kind of the goal, is to get a Haltech standalone, tune the car, get it running right, and on a dyno, when it's actually running right and making some good power, and it can actually idle and actually run correctly, then and I want to get it dynoed. I want to see it dynoed. I want to know how much power it's going to make, and I want to stay ballpark of like around probably like 200 to 300. I think that's about correct. I think that's the cap for as much power as you can make out of these. I don't think you can make any more. So that's the goal. I don't really have anything else planned except maybe a little bit interior. But other than that, I just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for paying attention to my posts. Thank you for everything. Thank you for guys for subscribing and liking and just being so supportive. And I just want to let you know that there will be more content coming. Trust me, I know this video took a little while, but it will. There's going to be more. So again, thank you. Like and subscribe. And just leave a comment what you think of the car. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.